What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Spiritual Rico, and I'm back with another interesting topic. Before we get into the topic, if you're new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I recorded 4 previous videos. The link will be in the description, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So, for the last 2 weeks, we've been on a topic of change. First week, we identified, okay, why me? You know what I'm saying? Why me? And learning how to turn that into why not me? Everything that you want, why can't you deserve it? That was what the first week was about. Second week. The second week was just really about being able to be yourself. You know, and this week, this week we're going into a new phase of understanding your life's purpose. Just to piggyback off the other previous weeks, everything starts with yourself. What you want, what you attract, you know, what are you dealing with in your life? It all comes from how you cope with things and basically how you allow it to control or manifest inside your own life. If you have a negative mindset or if you have a positive mindset, life has a way of throwing things your way to be able to mold you. Depending on how you handle those things, you know, determines the effect that it has on you. Because you could be going through something very tragic, but if you have a positive mindset and you take the good from it and what you can learn from it, take a bad situation and learn from it, you'll come out 2 times stronger. So it won't be a negative effect on you. Why it won't be a negative effect on you? Because you're looking at the trauma as something that you could take as fuel to prepare you for better days. So understanding that, you have to understand that when it comes to wanting to be able to change, when it comes to finding your purpose, a lot of times God will use the very things that are defeating you in your life. Prime example, when, let's say you're a person who's in a relationship, right? And you're just, you know, too overly into the relationship, okay? I mean, you head over heels, you know, you're not thinking about, you're putting yourself second, you know, you're not putting your happiness first, you're putting everything into that person to make sure that person's happy, to make sure that, and then you end up heartbroken. Happened from personal experience. So I'm pretty familiar with that type of scenario. That's the most common scenario, even whether you're a boy or a girl, where you be so overly invested into something to where you don't realize where you lost complete sight of yourself. And when you lose complete sight of yourself, things tend to happen. Life tends to throw a ratchet in your way to try to make sure you understand what's happening and to put you back on the right path. A heartbreak, most people you look at it as something that's negative, something that makes you sad or want to be depressed, you know, in some people's circumstances. But what you have to realize, even with breakups are beneficial if you look at it in a positive way. Because even if you love that person so much, you're giving yourself time. That breakup is giving you the time that you need to be able to fall in love with yourself. So if you take the time of that breakup and become a better person, if it's meant for you guys to be together, you're going to get back together. And this time now, you're going to be a better partner because you put yourself first. You're happy. You're not responsible for your partner's happiness. So you know, you looking at the situation. Basically, every situation now I'm showing you how it could be something that we as young adults, even if we're grown people, we have to understand that anytime something bad happens in your life, Just like I said in previous weeks, God will not allow anything that you can't take good from. Until you open your eyes and want to see things differently, like until you get tired of life hitting you as if everybody's attacking you, in reality, even if somebody is attacking you, if you have a positive mindset, you can use it as fuel. Everything's a mind thing. What you're dealt in life, you can't control. But you can control your responses, your approach, and how you interpret what it is coming your way, people, things. And see, the best thing of all is that God, He controls life. Even though He gives you the will to do as you please, you have to understand, even if He's allowing you to be with someone that He knows it's not good for you, He's going to use that person. He's going to allow you to be with that person because that's what you want. And He's going to use that person. And in that breakup, you find, instead of looking at why didn't it work, it exposed. Let's say you was overly into the relationship. It shows everything about you that you're capable of. Your willingness to fight. Your willingness to put up. You realize qualities that you didn't even know that you had, and you gave those to someone else. Sometimes it takes getting rejected or breaking up, or sometimes it takes being overly into something for you to really find out what it is that you have inside of you. Because if you really think about it, if you never had hard times, how would you know what you're capable of? How would you know what's inside of you? Hard times is what make you. So when you up and you're successful, you're just coasting. But just know, God will always allow things to come in your life. Because long as you know that you have Him and that you have a relationship with Him, it doesn't matter what life throws at you. It's a mind thing. Long as you have faith that you can make it through anything, and that you look at everything in a positive manner. I'm not saying that we're perfect. We're all going to look at every situation positive. But even if you get upset, slow down. Even because we're human, we're going to get impulsive. So even when you find yourself getting rised up, whether it's with an argument with someone, whether you're in an argument with your girl, whether life is not going the way you want, you have to look at what is repeating in your life. Let's say relationships. If the same problems are repeating in a relationship, then you know those are the problems that fall back on how you're reacting to them, or how you're putting yourself into situations. If in life you're constantly, let's say you're constantly going back to the things that you know aren't good for you, a lot of times you're doing it out of something in you. Is just doing it to fulfill a void. And a lot of things we do, we don't realize. We just do it because it's fulfilling a temporary void that we think matters in that moment. But what matters is understanding the void that you feel as a person. When you start to just sit back and see what replays in your life, the problems you have, you just sit back and you identify what it is that's constantly repeating in your life. If you're a lady and you constantly getting the same problems out of a relationship, it's not the man, it's you. And when I say it's you, it's how you are putting yourself in a position to be able to take that. How you are putting yourself in a vulnerable state where your emotions is causing a reaction where you're too involved. God has a way of making life hit you to where, listen, you got to get back on the right track. But if you can't see that, and if you don't view things as, why is this happening? My mom told me, question everything. I wasn't really a fan of it. I'm still skeptical of it, but I find myself starting to question, why is this? Why is that? Why is that? So you could be able to be completely honest with yourself, so that you'll know what you're doing, so you'll be able to see when something hits you, you'll be able to know how to deal with it. You'll be able to if you mishandle it at first, it gives you more control over your emotions, which will give you better results for your actions. So the whole point of this video today is, when you're on the path of change and you're tired of getting better and you're on the path of wanting to make a complete change, you're going to realize that the first step, of course, is identifying where you fall short at. Then it comes into phase 2, where you start to try to find out what is the real you. Like, what is you like being yourself? And see, when you put those 3 things together, along with, after you find out who you are, where you fall short at, and then you make it a mindset, you make it a mindset of how you're going to better understand yourself, so you'll be able to have better actions, better impulses, everything. It's all a mind thing, which goes back to my very first video. Things in life presents itself to always keep the mind on a swivel and to keep the person intact. You as a person have to reach a certain level to where you have to take the crooked with the straight, as the old people would say back in the day. Once you start taking the crooked with the straight, and you'll be able to gain control over your emotions by understanding the situation. As the situation is occurring, you have to think. You have to analyze. You have to structure. And it means, a lot of times, it means breaking up from that girl, getting laid off your job. Let's say you've been working a job, 6 days out of the week, and then they just let you go. And you're like, but why? Maybe you need that time to yourself. It's not no maybe. You need to create time for yourself. Even if you're into a relationship, even if you're at a job, even if you're a businessman, always find time for yourself to be your own self-therapy. To get your own self in control of your emotion. Be able to understand yourself, because the more you understand yourself, the more you help people know how to treat you. Because once you understand your emotions, your current states and everything, you won't allow yourself to be put in that situation. If somebody is putting you in that situation, you'll be able to get out. So, the point of the day is, man, just make sure you have a renewed mindset. Start looking at things positive and question when things don't happen in your favor. Question it instead of criticizing it. Use it as fuel. Take at least one thing from out of any bad thing life throws at you and use it as fuel. You will start to feel better. You will start to understand yourself more. When you start to understand yourself more, you tend to be more happy. And it will show. When you are working on yourself, it will show. It will manifest itself. And if you're happy, you're going to attract a partner who's happy. If you're broken, you're going to attract a partner that's broken. If you're broken, you're going to attract everything you get eventually is going to break. So everything starts with you as a person. You fix yourself, you make yourself. If you if God and yourself fulfills the void in your heart, in your place, you're going to attract a partner, businesses, anything that's the same way as you. As a person, it's a domino effect. How you are as a person is how people you go treat you. You set the tone for yourself so that others can be able, they're going to know they can't go there with you. And even if they used to be able to go there with you, they know they can't anymore. So the message of today is just renewing the mindset so you can have better control over your emotions, which will lead to better actions, which will lead to better treatment, because you're setting the tone for how you want to be treated, handled, and you're putting yourself in a position to be more, attracting more of an abundance, being more prosperous, learning to be more grateful. You're going to be more happier. And it all starts with, if you don't know where to start, it all starts with praying, and it all just starts with analyze yourself. Sit down and think about what it is, what puts you in a vulnerable state, understanding that. Because if you can't identify what makes you vulnerable, what makes you upset, what makes you want to cry, what makes you happy, if you can't identify all those things I just named, then that means you just got to do a little work. And even if you can, still dig deeper. And then if you once you be able to identify that, okay, how can I put myself in position to be more happier? This and this, that and that. Make sure you drink water. Make sure you're working out. Make sure you're speaking positivity into your life, because it will all help when it comes in the process of changing, when it comes in the process of finding your purpose. Everything will comes better with time. You can't rush success, because Rome wasn't built in one day. And I know a lot of people step out on faith and do things, and when it don't hit automatically and they know they have a good product or anything, they get discouraged. But see, those times what make sure you, if you're doing a YouTube, if you're starting a business and the numbers aren't looking good right now, or you just invested everything you had into a company, you know what I'm saying, and a stock company, and the numbers aren't looking good right now, screenshot, capture the moment. So, and speak and start reverse that mentally. Start speaking positivity. Start taking different approaches. Maybe because you're approaching the situation or in an emotional way is why you're getting an emotional damage response from the individual, or for the thing that's controlling your life in a negative way. Just got to be able to dig in, understand where you're coming from, why is these things happening to you. It's because it starts with you as a person. These are the steps of change. We're going to end this with a prayer. It's going to be a part 4 to this, of course, because it's different stages to this. As I learn more, um, because I'm in the practice of doing this. I'm not this changed person. I'm a sinner. I am human just like everyone else. But see, I want to be able to change, to make a change. And as I'm on the course, why not bring the ideas to life that my creator gives me, which is God. I pray before I do these videos. And we're going to always end with a prayer on these videos. So without further ado, here we are. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you this day on this Heavenly Friday, and thank you for anyone that you woke up this morning, Lord. Anybody that woke up this morning, Lord, that's watching this video, Lord, just they know them by them being able to wake up this morning to be able to watch this video, or be able to talk, or be able to do anything, to have working limbs, they are blessed and highly favored. Lord, I ask that you be able to re-identify, re-establish yourself in every one of our lives, because we are human, Lord, and at times we do allow the things, the energy, the people, internal battles to be able to discourage us from wanting to pursue the change, want to pursue to elevate into a higher mental state that you created us to be. And Lord, all I ask is that as followers of your word, as people who aren't followers of your word yet that may be watching this video, I ask that you help us all throughout the day to stay positive, to be able to identify where we fall short, how can we get better control of our emotions, and to be able to establish people, places, and things through your grace that will help guide us along their path, along my path, and along anyone else's that who may not even watch this video path. I ask that you send abundance, prosperity, knowledge, understanding of oneself, to be able to help us prepare for a better future for our children and our children's children. Lord, I ask that you allow all of us to be great human beings and to be more created in your image. I ask that you continue to walk with us every day and allow us to grow up as the way we must come. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, guys, that's the end of this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share. It's your boy Spiritual Rico, and I'm out. Peace.